welcome to High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki. This is where we talk about all things tech, innovation, entrepreneurship, and manufacturing because there's so many awesome things going on in Hawaii. And I'm excited for today's show because my guest today is Thelma Alane. She's our newest hire. She is HTDC's new Innovation Program Manager. Thanks for being here today with me.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been at HTD for a little while, right?
A little over 2 months, yes.
Very good, excellent. And tell me, what is the Innovation Program Manager? What is that role?
Well, you know, when I interviewed for it, I was like, they had all these technical language, but I think it boils down to I'm a matchmaker and a therapist to startup companies. They need somebody to listen to them and hear what their needs are and to help them find solutions, and then ask good questions to help them figure out what they need and how to make progress to be successful. And then the final piece is matching them up sometimes with money or other entrepreneurs, or you know, there's a whole bunch of needs that they may have. So that's kind of what it boils down to. Overall, on the more official side, it's managing an incubator, identifying what the resources are available, what program needs to be set up. We're going to be setting up a curriculum and figuring out what, how to meet the needs that are unmet at this point for innovative companies and startups in Hawaii.
Very good. That sounds very good. And how did you get here? Like, what in your background brought you to HTDC?
Well, it's kind of ironic. I am a serial entrepreneur myself, and that's how I got here.
Which is a great experience.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny because when I had, my startups were in California, and then I moved to Maui, and then I made the decision to move to Honolulu, and somebody said, well, what's your goal? And I was like, helping small and medium companies, and I made this kind of blurb, and I was like, ugh, that's pulling it out of my, no, anyway. And when I started this job, I went, oh, that's exactly what, almost practically what I wrote on my goal statement of my resume. And
wow.
So it's kind of weird, but it was basically, I like startups. I like that adrenaline and the excitement and creating something new, bleeding edge, cutting edge type stuff.
And you're done doing it yourself?
No, I'm actually not done doing it. In fact, on Maui, I was working with a startup, and they're still petering along. And
okay.
So I still have my hand in on my personal level, but
that's good.
What it keeps me does is it keeps me sharp for other clients. So when I hit the first day I was here, or no, sorry, the second day I was here, I went to a evening event and handed out, like I had like they didn't print cards for me because they're doing some work on that process, and so somebody else printed me out cards, and I like 2 weeks later, I go, can I have more? He goes, I already printed you out 200. So he printed me out like 500 more because I'm giving out my cards and making contacts, because it's important for me to be connected because those connections are the matchmaking portion of the project, and that's where I get to help companies. And it's been very exciting because I've been sitting down with each of the individual companies at the site, and I haven't gotten through the entire list yet, but I literally go, oh, I just talked to somebody the other night and so I get out to these events because it's a great way for me to identify resources.
That's
for
good,
other people.
and that's a good sign that there are that many resources that you can run through your business cards.
Yep.
And keep meeting new people.
Yeah, no,
that
it's
can
exciting,
support this area.
No, Hawaii's definitely got an innovative spirit, and they're trying to approach things. They have the Startup Paradise, which, you know, they're still working on getting branded and promoted. And I love the idea of that, you know, Startup Paradise. It is paradise here. But I also like the idea of we have an aloha spirit and a community spirit that doesn't exist in a lot of other innovative communities because we are a small island, a small state. There's not that many people here. The community does come together and works well in a way that other people have gone, you can do that? When we talk about how our accelerators and our incubators and our VCs and all that all talk to each other and like try to work together. So I like to call it Aloha Innovation, but it hasn't caught on yet. It hasn't caught on yet, but yeah.
So do you find that's one of the biggest differences between, say, Hawaii and where you were? as
Yeah.
far as that whole startup community?
Well, here's the irony. I mean, I was doors away from Silicon Valley. That's where I lived. I lived right, I'm not doors, I mean, it was like an hour, but still, like, compared to here, it's
Oh, yeah.
a door away. And I didn't know anything about incubation, acceleration. I mean, it was like completely lost on me that there is this. I mean, I did go to Silicon Valley one day to talk to VCs when we were trying to raise money for our company, but it's kind of ironic because it's such a small, tight community here. It's easier to access and easier to know what's going on. So,
Oh, that's good.
but in Silicon Valley, you can get lost. It's just so much going on, and you know, if you're not connected or if you don't know the right person to open a door for you, nothing happens. Where here, you can easily find someone who knows somebody at
That's
the
true.
minimum. So it's not
That's
even 6
true.
degrees of separation. It might be 3 degrees of separation. That will open a door for you if you need it. And that's, you know, in fact, one of the ways I got this job was somebody opened the door for me. And then all my other contacts that I had made, I actually came to Hawaii to raise money at one point. And my initial...
You don't hear that often.
Yeah, in fact, we were trying to get the 221 money. Maybe I shouldn't say that online, but my contact from that whole process was the person who kind of started rooting me into the community. So one person connected me to one person who connected me to another person who connected me to, and now it's like the number of people I actually could call up and they would know my name and say, oh yes, I could help you with that, just flabbergast me. And by the way, I've been here on Oahu since February, and I'm really impressed with how many doors I've been able to open at this point, so.
That's really good. I think we should definitely capitalize on that as far as building our ecosystem.
Yep. It still needs some work. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying I'm the one to do it all. In fact, one of my goals is meeting with all the, they call themselves the ecosystem. So meeting with all the players of the ecosystem so that we can, my role is I want to figure out what tire needs inflated or what tire is missing completely, and then we're going to fill in the gaps that are there. We're not going to try to recreate everything. We're going to play with the rest of the group and figure out how to make it even a better group.
So coming from California, what do you see as something that Hawaii is missing? I guess within the short amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been on Maui too, right?
Well, I think one of the
As a whole.
biggest concerns I see well, there's two big concerns I see is talent. Because of wage issues and things of that nature, and people end up going to school on the mainland, and from that point, then they don't come back because they get a really good job offer. So we have a big brain drain. So one of the things we're trying to do is create a network. I'm calling it either the Entrepreneurs Advisory Board or something of that ilk. So we're going to try to reconnect to what we call the Kama'aina network. And there's a lot of people who are living on the mainland who might want to come back if we can give them that kind of support and start their businesses here, if we can give them that kind of support. But there are also people who are out there and happy to be out there who may be able to open doors out there for our companies here. So I see Hawaii as becoming a bridge or a landing place for bridges from the mainland and to the east, and then that can really blow up our system and bring
different people in.
Bring talent in and bring resources in. So, and then the other resource is peer level mentorship, and I mean that is other people who have taken their company to an IPO. There's not as many as those here as there would be in Silicon Valley. So that exit strategy is not as rich a field here. So that ability to have mentors and people who could help somebody else and say, oh, I had that problem, no worry, let me tell you what you need to do.
Well, that's good.
And that's what one of the things we're trying to fill in, those two gaps.
So in California, was that easily accessible?
Much
Like
more.
Just finding a mentor or finding...
If you go to, in California, if you go into this group called Meetups and you type in entrepreneurial, you get like so many lists, you have to narrow it down to a certain mile from a different, like 20 miles instead of... Or here, you get some responses, but not as many. So there's just so many different various groups that are there and trying to have events and things like that in places where you can canoodle with other people and figure out, get answers and get help and get support. So
that's good.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur? And why did you choose to move to Hawaii?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that one first because it...
Yes.
Okay, so...
Sorry, I kind of squeezed them
No,
together.
no, that's okay. I'm from the East Coast, believe it or not. I went to school in Washington, D.C., and moved out to California, and then somebody took me to Maui, like in 1995. And I got off the plane, and it just was like walking into home. I mean, it just felt that way. It was like, oh, I belong here. And so from 1995 to when I actually moved here in 2012, I schemed. I was scheming. And that was one of the reasons we applied for the 221 money, is because then we would have to set up the company here. We didn't get it, so I didn't move that at that point. But that was in 2008. So the reason I'm in Hawaii is because I love it here. I love the weather, I love the people, I love everything about it. So, and the second part of your question was, I'm sorry.
No. What was your biggest challenge?
Oh, my biggest challenge
starting up your
was
business.
raising money.
Yeah.
Raising money and having business structure in place. My startup was with a partner, and we actually fell into the business idea. Somebody else brought it to us, and when we built this, we were building websites, high-level websites, data-integrated websites, and so somebody asked us to build them something that we thought was going to be a one-off site, and it ended up like after we built it, like 8 other people asked us for it. So then we go, oh, we seem to have a business idea.
Yeah.
So while we had some skills, we weren't ex-CEOs and ex-CTOs and I mean, all the C's, right? We had none of that experience under our belt. We were, self-employed people. That's kind of the way we saw ourselves, not even as entrepreneurs at that point. What? Anyway, so we didn't understand the business structure that we needed to go after money. So it was like a double-edged sword that because they would go, it's a great idea, you got clients, but, and it was just very frustrating. We ended up having a really positive exit strategy. We sold the software to a larger company, and that was the cool part, but we didn't know is that they were shelving us. So, and we were too naive. We didn't understand what shelving was. I figured this out like 2 or 3 years after the process was ending. I was like, oh my God, we were shelved. Oh, duh. And they were padding their IPO. So they wanted to make it look like they were more than a one-stop shop. So.
Well, but
we did have a positive exit strategy. We got a bunch of money and a few other things, and it was an amazing experience. And I have a conversation with people. I'm like, let me tell you, and I can share. And they go, oh wow, you do understand. And that actually, I think, is really good.
So it's really important up front to know what your strategy is going forward if you want investment.
There's all these accelerators and resources here that, and there are other places. They don't just exist in Hawaii. But if I had understood what I could have done, I probably, who knows what choices I would have made, or what maybe I would have gone after some. I've always had these weird ideas. What actually end up when I go, I thought about that 2 years ago, but never did anything with it. And look, it's making like billions now. Rats, right? But
I've had that feeling.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice in that I now understand better how I would pursue a new startup idea.
That's good. And you think it's just as easy to do it here? Like you would want to do it here?
Actually, I like it here better. Quite honestly, I'd rather do it here because it's a smaller pond in which, again, nothing personal meant by that. It's a smaller pond in which to test the whole idea.
That's true.
Because there's so much innovation going on across the world, across the globe, that something that sounds brand new here is actually being done somewhere else already, and you go, rats! But so you can test your idea in a smaller environment and then scale it up, find out how to make it scalable, and I think that's a really good way to handle it. So it's less intimidating than if I were to try to jump into Silicon Valley with an idea. I would feel like I was sinking. So it's a much more swimmable pond. Let's put it that way.
That's good. I like that. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
We are going to take a quick break.
Okay.
This is High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and my guest today is Thelma Alane. She is HTDC's new Innovation Program Manager. And we're on ThinkTech Hawaii, and we'll be right back.
Aloha, how you doing? I'm Gordo the Tech Czar, here on ThinkTech Hawaii, where we co-host Hibachi Talk, where we talk about technology and bring in all kinds of cool guests. Also, my co-host with me today is
Andrew the security guy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching ThinkTech Hawaii, and thanks for watching Hibachi Talk. We also have Angus.
And you there, lad? It's Angus. I bring in all kinds of wee things. Oh, look, you can see my lips moving.
He looks like he has way too much fun on his show.
Yeah.
I eat a puppet. Welcome back. This is
Sorry.
High
Oh my
Growth
God, you recorded that?
Rats! We're live. This is High Growth with HTDC, and I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and that was Thelma Alane.
Acting goofy as usual. But really, when I'm in front of our clients, I'm not so goofy.
So we're talking about being innovative in Hawaii, and as a state program, and you've been on Maui. Like, what are your ideas on bringing more services and growing the ecosystem to the neighbor islands?
We've actually set up a program. We're in the process of, it's called the NI3, Neighbor Island Innovation Initiative. And we're in the final stages of vetting the applicants for that process. And so news to be issued soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. And
Exciting.
what we'll have is a resident mentor on each of the appropriate islands. Theoretically, Big Island, Maui, and Kauai, but nothing's been finalized yet. There's I's to be dotted and T's to cross, so I don't have all the details at this point. So the goal here is to, again, we are a state agency. We cannot be Honolulu focused. We need to look at the entire state because there's resources out there. In fact, some of the other islands are better for certain projects because
That's interesting.
rent and stuff might be cheaper for a big manufacturing site, or there's a big digital media program happening on the Big Island because, again, they can afford like big giant rooms that wouldn't be cost prohibitive here in Honolulu. So, and it's a lifestyle option as well because they're a little quieter than, people don't, not everybody, I love the city. That's why I'm like excited to be here. But it's not everybody wants to have that kind of lifestyle. So for some, it's just a little quieter. We also have, at this point, we have the Maui Research and Technology Center. We're in the process of setting up a co-working space in one of the sections of the building. We're finalizing furniture, we're increasing the megabit speed of the facility so that it will be better bandwidth for technology companies. Yay! That's been interesting. And we're going to try to make it not innovative, because how do you make an innovative center innovative? Okay. But we're trying to make it more appealing to the younger entrepreneur and the coworker, because the nice thing about co-work space is it causes people to come together, and sometimes the person sitting next to you has the answer you've been like tearing your hair out about, and you don't know it, and they finally go, "What are you working on?" And because you start having
going
it,
through
or
the same thing.
you have these interactions, and finally you go, "Oh, I'm trying to figure out," and they go, "Oh yeah, my company does that. Would you like some help?" And you go, "Oh crap, I've been sitting next to you for a week,"
Yeah.
So that's part of the synergy that can happen in a space like that. But you have to make it appealing.
Yeah.
You have to make
People
it
have to want to go there.
Yeah, you have to make it kind of not chic. It's I can't think of the word for it, but it has to be kind of fun and upbeat. It cannot be corporate, So I'm stripping off all the corporate attitude about that room, and I've got an orange wall. So
Are there any other co-work spaces on Maui?
they're trying to set up set up some. The way
Good,
Maui
that's good.
works is there are sectors. So there's the Kihei side, the upcountry side.
Everybody kind of
Wailuku.
stays in their
And they
sector?
kind of because there's not very good. There's not like highways. So there's 2-lane roads, and if you get stuck on the other side and there's an accident, you're stuck over there for hours. So people kind of stay in their nook.
That's
So
interesting.
Lahaina is one side, Kihei, Wailuku, upcountry, and Wailuku's with Kahalui. So we're talking about like us being the Kihei co-working space and potentially having some others, and maybe then some on Molokai and Lanai. There is a co-work space on the Big Island. I don't remember the name of it.
Hawaii Tech Works.
Yes. Say that out loud. So,
Hawaii Tech Works.
Hawaii Tech Works. And then Kauai right now, I don't, there aren't any plans for that, but I have plans.
Good, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think the more help that we can spread around,
Well,
the better.
again, you know, it creates an environment. You know, not only do you need people, but you need space, and you need ideas, and you need to be able to bounce ideas, and you need
broadband.
And you need broadband. So infrastructure is really important, but infrastructure combined with everything else. So if you had, you know, 10 gigabytes.
Infrastructure is like the baseline, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, so like if you had a 10 gigabyte infrastructure here, but no money for the entrepreneurs, no mentorship, no, you know, customers to buy the products that they're building, right? One of the benefits, another benefit of Hawaii, as far as I'm concerned, is the military presence here. So because of the military presence here, there are, again, remember I was talking about that small pool where you can test something out? They do a lot of testing on various ideas, research and development on ideas here that the military, the Department of Defense is looking to develop. There's like a cyber initiative, there is an energy initiative, there's all these initiatives, and I wouldn't know how to access that in California. Because it's not there, it's not in your face as much. It's there.
That's interesting.
But that offers
An opportunity.
Like a sandbox, that's the word I'm thinking of. It offers a sandbox opportunity that is probably in other places, but not as easily, it's not as visible and as easily accessible. So,
That's a good observation.
yeah.
And then each of the neighbor islands also has a pretty big military component.
Yeah, one of my dreams for the Maui Technology Center is to set up a co-location and secure cloud space over there as a what I want to call as an anchor tenant. And I haven't quite figured out the details of it, but if we can do that and we upgrade the broadband over there, it could be a resource for all the islands. You know, and again, in a place where the costs to have it housed there is manageable. So.
Oh, good, good. Have you seen a lot of startup activity on Maui?
There's things definitely happening over there.
Activity?
Yeah, there's definitely things happening over there. There's Tech Hui is a group that's pretty active over there. So I'm plugging you guys, so you got to come and help me. Tech Hui and Maui Business Brainstormers. The woman who runs that is just spectacular. She has done an amazing job of connecting small businesses and innovative
cool.
people
So
over
they're
there.
kind of like a group that gets together.
When my co-working space is done and I have my furniture and the broadband upgrade, I'm going to have a party. You're all welcome. So.
Very
if
good.
you're on Maui, no, I'm just kidding.
That would be good to bring all those groups together.
Yeah, and I'm working
into
on
that
that. So I'm
space.
trying to get, even if they don't come to a permanent housing there, but if like they have events there,
Or even
that would
if
be
they have
really
their
cool.
meetings or monthly meetings.
Yes,
or-
I'm trying to work out some of those details. Trying to pull some of the strings of the people I know. I know some people at UH. I know some. So that's the benefit. It's kind of ironic. I moved to Oahu and now I have to go back to Maui, which is just fine with me. So I'm not complaining at the slightest. So, but it's kind of nice because I have some connections that I can already utilize and hopefully improve. You know, and there are other organizations over there that are as dedicated and hard driven as we are here at
Good.
HTDC.
That's
But And I'm trying to meet all of them and leverage all that, just as I'm trying to do over here for Maui.
That's good.
So.
And are you going to connect all the islands together, or is it just going to be trying to support everybody?
No, the goal is to have a network,
Mm-hmm,
you know, across all the islands.
That would be great,
So
because I think if there's some resource going back and forth between the islands.
Yeah, so the plan is to have programs in all locations, and that we
Mm-hmm.
want to have programs that are streamed
Mm-hmm.
and or recorded if that's people want to go and review them because they couldn't make the event.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try to stream events, and what I want to do is stream them from not just always Oahu, but to go to other places. I have some things I'm working on to connect the streaming more cohesively, so it's not just like you're sitting there watching talking heads from your place, but that you can interact with the process.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I am
Good.
trying to get it to be a cohesive unit, because in my opinion is, if you're here in Oahu and say you come up with a cool way to do PV, I'm just throwing this out there, and you find out there's somebody on Maui who wants to test it out for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to go, if you're here, you'll be able to go use my co-working space. Right?
And you probably know about it.
Yeah.
You will find that person.
Right. I will help them find that person. So my point is that I want to be because the idea is that if you, just because you're a company located on Oahu doesn't mean you might not have business on the other islands.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure there's space for them to have meetings
Good.
that are professional looking and still
That is very
meeting their
good.
needs. So
I will have to say that more often on this program.
yeah.
Remind people that that's available.
Yep. Please.
And one last note, do you have any parting advice for wannabe entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs, as I've heard it said?
Yeah, I think that I think that the biggest thing you can do is, if you have an idea, make sure it really floats on two levels. Just because it's a need that you have doesn't mean that it's a need everybody has. So
Or that people are willing to pay for?
right, yeah. So you always have to think about, okay, this is a really cool idea, right? Am I gonna make money for myself for this business by ads, or am I gonna have customers, or so forth?
How is it going to make money?
How's it gonna pay for me to do the job? And is it scalable? But when I say, what I'm talking about is actually doing some market research or business intelligence research. Identify, and that goes on two levels. Like I was saying, you might have this really great idea, and somebody has an app already built in Washington, D.C. So it's not necessarily going to be a bad thing, because you might have a new way to do it. So not saying you shouldn't try it, but be aware of who the competition is. So business intelligence on the competition. So you go, okay, because a lot of people go, oh, no one else does what I do. And then you find out that the reason no one else does it is because there's another solution that's not a tech solution that costs less money, so therefore they're going to stick with that unless you can make it
Or there's no
cheaper.
market for it.
Or there's no market for it. And that's the other half is, do you have competition, or is there market for it? And you've got to do that kind of research. So, and it's really easy to do this these days with the internet. You can at least get a broad stroke version of it, and then if you get to the point where you're actually, you know, moving along, there is better ways to do that. And one of the things that the accelerators follow is something called lean startup. And the first part of that process is doing that kind of intelligence, that kind of research. So if you do that before you even go to an accelerator, you're hitting the ground running fast. So
Because I know a lot of people have good ideas.
they
and,
do
you
have
know,
good
they-
ideas.
They want to do something about it, but.
And then my second piece of advice then is, a lot of people have good ideas. You have to actually be willing to run with it in order to make it something that, because you may be answering a need for a lot of people. So don't let the scary part of it keep you back, because you may have something we all need, so please don't give up.
Interesting.
And we're here to help you, so
Yes. So if anybody wants to start.
come see me, I will help you.
Very good. Yes, and I mean, I think there's so many resources that Hawaii has, and that the state has, that people need to take advantage of.
Yeah,
So-
and it's so much more available than I ever understood, so.
Good,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad. Very good. That was our guest for today, Thelma Alane. She is HTDC's new Innovation Program Manager. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me on.
And I hope people get in touch with you. We'll give her email address and we'll have her contact you. This is High Growth with HTDC on ThinkTech Hawaii, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel of ThinkTech Hawaii. Won't you consider helping ThinkTech? We're a 501c3 Hawaii nonprofit corporation, now in our 15th year. Our model and very existence depends on ongoing contributions from our underwriters. We are very appreciative for their support. We're hoping you will consider becoming one of our ThinkTech underwriters. Unless our underwriters prefer to be anonymous, we publicize them on thinktechhawaii.com and on our daily email program, sent to some 7,500 subscribers, our live stream talk shows, and our OC16 productions. With help from our underwriters, we have developed a high-tech video studio in Pioneer Plaza, and we now live stream 25 talk shows per week, covering science, tech, energy diversification, community, sustainability, and globalism for Hawaii. And we stream our earlier shows all night long. Our live stream is on thinktechhawaii.com. Check it out. We also upload all our shows to youtube.com, where we get 18,000 views per month. And we broadcast 12 hours per week on Olelo 54 and 3.5 hours per week on OC16. We also do monthly luncheon panel programs at the Lania Kea, and we write a monthly column for the Honolulu Star Advertiser. We're really active. Our plans this year include improving the coverage, content, and production values of all of our programs, and including more issues and guests relating to the neighbor islands, either by Skype or in person. If you agree with our mission, I hope you'll consider helping us. If you have any questions about any of our activities, or if you'd like to discuss our underwriter arrangements, please write to me at j@fidel.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for considering this suggestion, maybe even including you among our underwriters. Mahalo, I'm Jay Fidel of ThinkTech Hawaii, and I approve this message. If you approve of it also, please give us a call.
Hi, welcome back. This is High Growth with HTDC, and I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki. And I wanted to let everybody know what's going on. There's a lot going on this month. And I hear November is super busy, so get ready for November. But anyway, this month Thursday, September 17th, High Beam presents Going for Growth Leaders Panel Series, Market, Management, and Money at the Sullivan Conference Center at JABSM, or at the Cancer Center. Their panelists include Catherine Go, President and CEO of Central Pacific Bank, Mark Fukunaga, Chairman and CEO of Servco, Ben Ancheta, Chief Development Officer of the Ike Company, and the moderator will be Deborah Berasini, CEO of Invencor Inc. This is the first in a series of panels to help entrepreneurs build investable companies. So that's kind of like what Thelma was talking about. If you want to start your company, I think you need to be able to build it and start it so that you are investable in the future. Next September, so that's one to go to, September 17th, remember that, next week. September 23rd to 24th, UH Manoa's Office of Technology Transfer and Economic Development, OTED, in partnership with the Hawaii Business Roundtable, will be hosting Future Focus, the Hawaii Innovation Initiatives Forum on Energy, Cybersecurity, and more at the Hawaii Convention Center. This is for all researchers, scientists, investors, innovators, and technology businesses interested in emerging technologies, federal resources, and available opportunities in growing the innovation ecosystem. This is the place to be. So save the date and register for this event, September 23rd and 24th. Excuse me, that would be a good one. And this month's Wetware, I'm so excited for this month's Wetware Wednesday. Wetware is our monthly software developer networking event, and it's going to be a treat this month. On Wednesday, September 30th, we will be celebrating with Oceanit and their 30 years of innovation. Oceanit is a big supporter of the technology, maker, and software developer community. Over the past 30 years, they've invented some amazing tech and are venturing into strong AI, strong artificial intelligence, which is super interesting. So we'll get to see and hear about some of their projects firsthand. So come on down to the event. The program is starting early this time, so come early so you don't miss anything. That is Wetware Wednesday on September 30th, Wednesday at Oceanit with Oceanit, celebrating 30 years of innovation. Okay, I wanted to let you know that HTDC offers sponsorship opportunities for events that align with our mission of growing the tech and entrepreneurship ecosystem. If you're putting an event together that builds upon innovation, startups, tech, and more, please visit our site at htdc.org for sponsorship information and our application. Don't forget, if you need some small business legal advice, every other Wednesday, HTDC offers free legal guidance in partnership with the Business Law Corps. You can sign up for a 30-minute free appointment at the Manoa Innovation Center. Please visit htdc.org/legal to sign up. That's free legal advice for 30 minutes. Lastly, calling all SBIR Phase 1, 2, and 3 winners. This past ledge session, we got the ability to support Phase 2 and Phase 3 winners. So HTDC offers state matching funds for up to 50% of your SBIR award. If that's you, please contact us at sbir@htdc.org. So that's a lot going on this month, and I hope to see everybody at Wetware, take advantage of all the events going on, and it was so great to be here today, and thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on High Growth with HTDC at ThinkTech Hawaii.